we're talking about people who have given back to Kerala and the medical schools and the students, there is one person we all know, and if you don't know, you should know, and that is KP. So KP, please take it away. And Dr. Krishna Prasad is an emergency physician. He's always in the ER if you try to call him. But he was found time to join us today. Please share your experiences, please, KP.
No, I reflect and also want to emphasize what Narendra said. Narendra Kumar and myself were in the second hostel, men's hostel in Trivandrum Medical College in the early mid 70s. I've known him well before he came to US and I came to US. And what he said is very apt. We have a mother that's called Kerala, India. Then we have our adopted mother that's in North America, whether it be US or Canada or UK. And it is very important to pay back to both the mothers, the natural mother and the adopted mother, whether it be Canada, US or UK. It's very important. And secondly, it's not how much money you have that matters. It's about how much money you can spare or share or donate for, causes well beyond the boundaries and barriers of country and, ancestry. And I'm thinking as we grow up, we have to think about that. What do we leave as a legacy? Attend, if we can, any and all AKMG conventions, but also think about contributing something, small percent from what you have made, money to some very good causes, including when Narendran, നമ്മുടെ LRC പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ എംപിള്ള സാറിന്റെ മണിച്ചേട്ടന്റെ ടെക്നോളജി അല്ല ടൈമിംഗ് ഞാൻ മനസ്സിലാക്കി ആ ടെക്നോളജി LRC അതുപോലെ എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ നോക്കണം. We have to do that within US, Canada, UK or India or Kerala. We have to do that. Otherwise the life is not well lived. I'll conclude there.
Thank you. Thank you, KP. Okay, before we continue with our reminiscence, I think Deepu wanted to mention some more recent activities related to mentorship. Yeah.
Thank you, Nigel. So with the mentorship committee, we actually started organizing some activities this year. We had about 3 virtual seminars to help students write their USMLE or how to prepare for USMLE, and we have given some good opportunities for the young kids, medical students, to get involved in these presentations. So that actually helped the interest of young medical students to be involved, and had shown that there is something AKMG can give even to the medical students in the United States and also in outside the United States. So we are creating a lineage by showing that we are interested in you, and we are going to give you as much support as possible. These seminars will restart in a month or so. But the other part, which most of you are not seeing, is that we have about 6 to 7 students who are wanting to come to United States for residency, and this is the time they are trying to get into observerships and externships. So I've been trying to coordinate these students and also research opportunity. Teresa was one of the persons. So we are trying to, as a group, as AKMG, we have immense resource. If one of our physician can host one medical student or somebody to just come and observe in their office, that makes a big difference for them in their application process. And I've been contacting people personally over the phone if they can do an observership or help us with observerships, or can we do, is there any research opportunities? Some people are forthcoming and letting me know, but this is a very നമുക്ക് ഛേദമില്ല ഒരു ഉപകാരം ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമാണ് ഒബ്സർവർഷിപ്പ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ കൂടെ വന്ന് നിന്ന് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന കാര്യം just to kind of see what's happening, but definitely these people will have a great opportunity. So I really um, if anybody has any opportunity to do observerships and just any kind of message area, main things they are looking at is observerships, externships, research opportunities, and we are trying to compile. I mean, compile ചെയ്യാനൊന്നും ഇല്ല, ഇപ്പം നമുക്കൊരു 3-4 പേരുടെ contacts മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. I'm in the process of trying to compile and trying to help these people to get the correct opportunity. So I mean, that is my appeal, and this is a process in making. So it is what I see. Yeah, it is what I see. Sorry, it is what I see as giving back and showing interest and giving. If not for the money, we can give discounts for the people. It is something which we give people a value,
Okay.
being a AKMG member. Yes, sorry.
Yo, Deepu, this is Narendra Kumar. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I can tell you that, are you affiliated with the teaching hospital?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Well, but I'm not affiliated. But it's a community hospital.
The reason I'm asking is that API has an it's like a 3-month observership program. Okay, in Oklahoma, which is accredited through a university, through some connections, or somebody with. What I mean is that if somebody comes on rotate with me for a month or 2, and if I give a certificate, that has no value. Okay, that is not considered or even taken, as an important, recommendation. But if it is, if somebody in an academic institution with a bunch of other doctors, it doesn't have to be Malayali doctors. If you do a program and for like a 3 months, and if any of our young physicians get a chance to come and rotate, and if you give a certificate affiliated with a hospital, that is a tremendous value. I think that is what you should look for. And just coming and rotating with you or me doesn't make a difference. So just a thought and something to consider.
Thank you.
Sure, Dr.
Nigel, can I chip in a little bit?
Yeah, we have a number of people who have not spoken so far, but please go ahead, please, KP.
Yeah, only 3 seconds. AKMG has in membership so many faculty members in senior academic positions. I think we should make sure that for mentorship, observership, externship, whatever, that we have those people, including yourself, Nigel, as part of a group that can mentor.
Yeah, definitely. We should definitely make something formal, as Dr. Narendra Kumar said, and it might be definitely more value for the time spent. Deepu, maybe we can talk about that. I know you're trying your best to do a lot of programs.
I'm trying to make that team which you're talking about.
Yeah.
And definitely university programs are available, but there should be a foot into the door somewhere. That is what many of the people are looking at.
Okay, thank you. Let's speed up things a little bit. I know Dr. Mipla had wanted to present 2 ideas. Before I go to you, Dr. Pillai, we have I think Bindu Sutakaran is back online now. Did you want to speak, or have we lost you again?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Can
good.
you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot for letting me be part of this. You know, I joined last year and it has been really, really helpful during especially the pandemic because a lot of good information from all the knowledgeable ID and everybody has given so much information for us, which I wouldn't have gotten before. The main two things I want to say is one is, you know, as the previous doctor said, you know, we need to help people here. It would be nice if we can support depression in teenagers in this country. There's so much stress they go through, and it is totally different than the American kids. Indian kids, you know, we deal with it differently in the family. So we know how it is at home. So if the psychiatrists and the psychologists in the group, if they can help us, you know, team up something as to guide us as to what we can do. There's no money involved in it. It is just giving our time to them. So if something we can organize that, that is one thing. The second thing is we need to do something for ourselves as physicians. You know, do we have anybody advocating for us like to, you know, every year, every month, new rules are being pushed on us from the government, this and that. So is there any way we can unite and bring up something so that we can save ourselves, our profession, rather than being, you know, told by all the administrators to do what we need to do? So those are the only two things I wanted to say today.
Wonderful, Bindu. Especially like the first one, which is you know which is something which once in a while it comes to our mind when we hear stories, but you don't really put it into a sort of a practice and practice, and you don't make it a sort of an initiative. I don't think AKMG has made it an initiative, but that's a wonderful idea, and we should
Because
definitely.
recently, in the last 2 weeks, we had two kids. One, if you look up, you will see in Allen, Texas, these two kids shot themselves and shot the entire family. They were depressed. They were very depressed. And the reason they killed the parents and everybody is because they knew their parents loved them so much. They didn't want them to go through the pain of losing their own kids. And it was very heartbreaking to read that, you know, and it's just sad that how we cannot reach to these kids and could have saved the whole family. So it's just very heartbreaking to hear and see things like. And there was another kid who just jumped off in the university. My kids are in university, so that's how I'm getting these news, and I feel like, oh my God, is there? You know, it could be our kids, you know. So how can we support them? How can we give them the help? It is out there.
Absolutely. Subra, I think this is an important point, and we should probably take this offline and start thinking about this and bring it back. What do you think, Subra?
Absolutely. Agree.
Yeah, okay.
This is a big problem and we need to tackle that. Yes.
Great, okay, thank you. Dr. Mipalai, maybe if you could quickly.
Yeah, just to give you 2 points which we can start focusing on in the years to come. I know after an excellent presidency by Subra, it is being handed over to an equally competent pair of hands. So I'm very hopeful and I congratulate the team like many of my colleagues have already done. One area I would like to emphasize is establishing endowments, both here and in India. And it is not as difficult as you think, because I was involved in establishing one such endowment, not in the medical field. A non-resident Keralite donated 1 acre of his family property, or ancestral home, to an organization here. And we made use of that 1 acre to build 20 homes for the homeless. This is a great idea because many of us do own our inherited property. And if you hand it over to some of our relatives, and honestly, some of our relatives are richer than us, so they're not very particular to have it. We can sell it and bring the cash here. And with God's grace, very few of us need that anymore. So there is an opportunity to announce this, establishing endowments anywhere in Kerala, Kozhikode Medical College, Trichy, Alappi, Trivandrum, in the name of an AKMG member who makes use of the revenue from sale of his ancestral home to establish X and Y endowment in whatever specialty he wants in any of the medical colleges. Number one. Number two, it is very appropriate that the young lady pointed out the need for psychological counseling for some of our teenagers. There's already an organization that was launched about 6 months ago, and some of you may be knowing about that. It's called Empatia, E-M-P-A-T-I-A. Empatia means empathy in Spanish. And this is a global organization of Malayalis. And the good thing is it is being headed by many celebrities from Kerala, like the magician Mudugad and several senior IPS officers, ladies, writers. And we do have monthly meetings. What Empatia does, they try to help women in distress, particularly the wives or widows or divorcees in distress who need professional help, free of charge. We don't get involved in the treatment part, but there is a number to call and get guided or sort of directed to the appropriate center. If you want, AKMG can partner with Empatia rather than reinventing the wheel, focusing specifically on teenagers. And if you need help, let me know. I can connect you to the core group of people who are running it. So far, they have done an outstanding job. And we do get calls not only from here, from Australia, from England, from Germany, from Middle East, and we have identified volunteers, for selfless service in all these parts of the world. It's gaining momentum every month. The third item, which I want to bring up for the future AKMG, particularly in Nigilis, it is high time that AKMG start focusing on creating a cadre of physician executives. Now, our organization has been very successful in promoting leadership in research, academia, group practice, solo practice, everything. But the future is for physician executives, especially in the changing times. Hopefully, the Toronto Convention should have a session by maybe the Wharton School of Business Administration, and how the young AKMG members can groom a career in become physician executives. And it is really worth it if we can guide them, if we can connect them to some of the best centers creating physician executives, because the future is there in leadership of medical management of not only hospitals and clinics, but even the big insurance companies and biotech companies. So that area, it's time that AKMG start looking into creating our own people from AKMG to take up leadership in as physician executives. And one good beginning can be in Toronto by partnering with the Wharton School of Business Administration.
Thank you, Dr. Pillai. You almost stole my idea. I'm completing my MBA from the Rotman School currently, and I gave an initial part of the idea already to the first speaker regarding bringing innovation and design in and developing a workshop for the attendees of AKMG Toronto. So I'm hoping to get a team from Rotman School actually come in. They specifically run courses for health and life sciences executives around the world. So they have a collaboration with an Italian school. They go to the Middle East and train health executives there. So we have a very good team at Rodman, and hopefully we'll have a workshop for AKMG members who attend the Toronto meeting. So that's one thing. And I'm really liking this event, especially because we got two young members who brought in ideas. One was innovation and developing some design theories, and also maybe even opening an AKMG store, which hopefully will be very soon coming into effect. And the second one, look, we brought a second younger member brought in an idea, and it looks like it's taking wings with the connection with Empatia. And what a brilliant idea, Dr. Pillai. I think Subra, we should probably explore that connection with Empatia and launch our own version of it and join hands. Wonderful. Okay.
And Dr. Nigel, I will be more than happy to be part of that, and I can volunteer for that. Anything Excellent. You want to do, I will be more than happy to do it.
There, we got our AKMG lead for that. Very good. Excellent. Okay, I see a few people. For example, I think Sunil, I try to get you in to weigh in on the AKMG HS activities a little earlier. I see you've joined now. Could you please enlighten on mainly two things? One, where do you see AKMG HS going in the future, and what has happened in the recent past that has led to probably a little lack of flow of funds in?
Hi Nigel, hi everybody. Sorry I got late. I was working in ICU, just got out of the hospital. I'm still in my scrubs. So I don't know what all you spoke about before. So I'm going to touch on a couple of things that you already discussed, then I'll tell you about what's going on with AKMGHS. I think Bindu, I believe, is the one who brought out that psychology issue. I think that's a major issue, something that we can definitely get involved in, something that we should do. I think that's a major issue amongst the younger generation, especially the high school graduates and early college students. So that's something we should look into. And I want to touch on what Deepu's suggestion and what Narendran suggested. I agree with Narendran. I sit on the other side of looking at applications and some of those things. So the just letters coming from a physician really has no value. I think what Narendran, the point that he made is a lot of value. I think we need to probably either work with RP or create something on our own that's affiliated with the university that probably has more value. With that, AKMGHS, unfortunately, with the pandemic, a lot of things were stuck in the political or governmental hole. We requested many changes with the IRS to be made so that I could take action on many of these things, and we still don't have any action from the IRS side. It's almost 9 to 10 months since we requested. The only thing we made and we were able to change was giving me access to the bank, which, to be honest with you, just happened 2 weeks ago. So that's how delays were, and it's not anybody's fault. It is purely because of the pandemic. So now I have the access to our bank account, even though it took almost a year. I've been learning a lot of things from Prem Menon since he has done this for many, many years. He has got a lot of knowledge on the regulatory stuff, and I'm kind of learning what can be done and what cannot be done. We are getting requests from multiple different small organizations from Kerala. Every time I get a request, I call Prem, and he gives me advice on what can be done and what cannot be. Unfortunately, there are a lot of regulations even government of India has put who can send money and who can accept. So we have to look at all those things before we say yes or no. So what I have in mind is, rather than just doing fundraising for a particular event, I think AKMGHS should have an yearly fundraising as an AKMGHS organization, rather than waiting for a flood or earthquake or something that happens. That way we have more cash in hand that we can utilize for things that we truly believe in. That's kind of what I have in mind. So I will reach out to you guys, the leadership, and then we can take it from there. That's all I have.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Sunil. I will be calling shortly on Thomas Matthew. We'll see if he's coming back. But before that, an old member, but more recently, much more active, Thomas Rajan. I know you wanted to say a few words very quickly, please.
This like being a critical care doctor and the hard time going through this season, I just wanted to just bring up a couple of points quickly. One, as one of our younger member was saying about the teenagers, how are we focusing on our physician burnout in people who are facing the situation? We join our annual AKMG to celebrate, but we also need some shoulders to cry on, because a lot of people are hurting, and I know personally my critical care, the intensivist crowd, all of them have been burnt out beyond what they can take. And I know that the last time in Toronto, you a forum where, you were discussing about a little bit about it with the physician burnout. So I think it is very important for us to address this in the next couple of years, because, this pandemic is not going to go away so soon. And some of us in this field are going to be stressed out, and we need some support so that, when we get there, it is not only about all the joy and happiness we take. How do we support each other? How do we keep, people who are trying to go through and, I'm ready to quit the job and, say, this is done. I don't want to continue being a critical care physician anymore. These are my couple of my thoughts. I just wanted to see if Subra or Nigel, if you can accommodate some of this, at least have some kind of a platform where we can discuss this further.
Thank you.
Dr. Rajan, that is what I was saying. We need to have an advocacy. We need to have a physician's voice to take to Washington, and we need to talk about it, because as I said, every day, every month, they bring in some rules and regulations, and the administrators are running the show. They should realize that there's no money involved if the physicians don't see the patients. So we need to come up like Press Ganey, a lot of things which does not improve patient care. There's no reason we should keep doing it and say yes to everything the government says. So there should be an advocacy group. We should unite together instead of we just complaining in our own little corner about physician burnout and this and that. The physician burnout, just treating physician burnout is not not the solution. We should prevent it. And how do we prevent it? We need to stand up and say there are certain things we're not going to do it. And I know a small group cannot do it, but at least we should take some initiative.
Thank you, Bindu. We have a future president in the making, current EC member, Dr. Sindhu Pillai. Do you want to talk about your ideas for the future after hearing all of this that we've heard over the past hour?
Yes, thank you, Nigel. Hello. I'm in Texas right now with my son, and thank you so much. And I was there from the beginning, and it's so nice to hear from the youngsters that it's very something that we all have been looking upon, that about being a pediatrician. I do see a lot of mental illness in teenagers, especially after the COVID pandemic has started, and we don't have enough resources, and it is more demand than the supply, and we have such a hard time, long wait list for these kids to get to see someone, and it is really I'm happy to see that the interest has come in from AKMG, and we are taking some initiatives, and it's really good to see that. And I think AKMG should support in every way to support that idea, and it's really worthwhile to do that. And I'm looking forward to. I will be happy to help in any way that I can with being a pediatrician. I'm happy to say that we had a convention done in California in the first week of March, and we increased our membership by double. We doubled our membership, and some of the executive members, including Nigel, you were there, Nisha was there, and Dr. Mohan Das, and of course Dr. Bhatt was there. And thank you for that. And very happy to see the membership has increased, and we have a very good dynamic members in California, and looking forward to the convention in Atlanta, and good to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have, we'll go in this order. Next we have Dr. Elizabeth Maman Prasad, if you would like to speak, and then after that we have two past presidents, Dr. Thomas Matthew, who has not spoken yet, and I think it's Dr. Arvind Pillai, who is also here. So Dr. Elizabeth Maman Prasad, please.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. No, I was just listening to all the wonderful ideas. It's really exhilarating for me. Such ideas that are coming forth, and I think it's wonderful. I only have a couple of questions and comments. Since this is my second convention I'm planning to attend in Atlanta, which I'm really looking forward to, because I've never really been to Georgia, and I really want to see Buckhead. So my husband and I are really looking forward to that. one of the things I wanted to find out is, do you have a souvenir, not a souvenir, a directory with everybody's pictures and contact information besides being online? Is there something like that in the past? Or if not, is that something that we can create? So if you want to look up somebody right away, in a directory format, is that something that will be available in the future? Is one of the questions I had. The second one is, besides medicine, I would love to see what other interests people have. I know Dr. Pillai is an excellent singer and all her talents were seen over the past few months. But what about, like, say, arts, like, photography or painting? Can we have the work done by our physicians be something that we can sell and raise money for different, different programs, such as, for the homeless, or soup kitchens or whatever, be like a fundraiser from from our activities that we do on our downtime, if we have any downtime to do these things. Was something that I was thinking about. I have not seen it in the past, since this is my second convention I'm coming to, but that would be very nice if we could do something like that. Just a thought process, and if it is done before then, then how do we expand on it, get more people involved in doing that? And also the third thing I had was, I hear so many literary stuff coming through AKMG and the CMEs. Wonderful. But can we have something along the lines of creative writing, like helping us to have, classes or something on creative writing, say, if you want to write stuff, on, in that world, if somebody could give us some classes on that aspect. So those are three I had in mind, and I just want to bring it forward. I know not all of it is part of medicine itself, but just my thoughts. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Wonderful.
I love all ideas.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad. And if you haven't yet taken a look at Dr. Thomas Rajan's Instagram page, you should take a look at it. He's an award-winning, internationally famous photographer, in addition to being a critical care and sleep medicine and respirology physician. Okay, next Dr. Thomas Matthew, and then Dr. Arvind Pillai, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Sorry, I got a little late. Great presentation, great talk by all my past presidents, all legendaries of AKMG, Dr. Pillai, Dr. Ravi, Dr. Narendra Kumar, all of you are there. KP, great having you all. And current president, Dr. Bhatt, and incoming president, Dr. Harun. And then, of course, Nisha. Salute to you all those things you're doing for all this during this pandemic time. It's unbelievable, including Deebu. Great job with this young kids, you're supporting them so much. I'm also helping out with Sunil with this AKMGHS. The only thing I wanted to add on, and I think Sunil also mentioned it, is to have a yearly fundraising for AKMGHS. And unless we have the money, we always say, unless we have the money in our pot, we won't be able to give it out. Now, we can talk about so many things we can do from the charity side. And unless we have that money in, we won't be able to do it. So I encourage all the incoming presidents. I mean, now we have so much of support from a website from Preeta, that you can initiate those emails, sending out to them during the end of the year, during the middle of the year. It's a 403(c)(b) charitable contribution. Collect money for AKMGHS. People at the end of the year don't know where to put the money in. This is a great opportunity. $1,000, $2,000, $10,000, $100,000. Let's collect the money. Once we collect the money, we have so many avenues where we can use it into your home medical school, your hometown, your family whom you want to support, your mother place, the place where you're working, the hospitals where you're working. Like Dr. Thomas Rajan said, those people, those frontline workers who need help in the US, in Canada, in North America, in South America, wherever you want, bring it up to the committee and let's give them the support we want. But it will not happen unless AKMG starts putting in money every year on a regular basis. The other second point which I wanted to mention is, as API does, have a past president who does marketing to collect sponsorship for AKMGHS. I know Dr. Narendra Kumar did that one or two times, I think, for API. He's raised more than $100,000. These events were basically organized by people who come from India to sing songs. They arrange local chapters to have Gana Mela or musical events, and they collect money. I know it's hard during the COVID season, but those are some things which we can also adopt and collect money in our own way. And once we have those money, we can give it to local chapters. We can give it to local people, whomever we want to. That's number one thing I wanted to mention. The other thing I really liked is what Deepu is doing with AKMG mentorship program. It has to be organized. I get emails here and there from students from India, even India also. I recently sent him one. I had one more before, but I couldn't trace it to who it was. These students are calling or emailing us to ask to do rotation, some kind of observership or some kind of experience for them so that they can apply to medical schools in US. There, remember, that's one side of the story. The other side of the story is there are so many medical students who are going to medical school in our own place, and our own kids who are going to medical school, and they need help too. So if we open it up and say, okay, there is a mentorship program which is available through AKMG, they would be loving to come in through that. So unless we have a program settled up, and I really think that Preeta can help a lot in that also, to set up that internet connection or that website to have them log in to us and say that, okay, Dr. Nijal is a rheumatologist, I want to shadow him or I want to rotate with him. They can have that avenue fixed, get connected so that they can do it. They're like Dr. Deepu, who is, I think you're a plastic surgeon. So people who want to do surgery can do that. So if we have that platform, and I think we have employed a person who is doing our website, they can do that. I mean, as long as we give them ideas to do it. Dr. Pillai, of course, is like our legendary person. Even if people come in and see him one time and get a letter from him, they can get into HEMONC in anywhere in the US. I'm 100% sure. So all these kind of connections can be made if we have that platform. That's the second thing I wanted to mention. I think, thank you for hearing me. I'm always here to help out in whatever ways we can. And I wish Subra all the best during this convention and Nijil for the next one. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. And we'll go to Arvind Pillai, Dr. Arvind Pillai next. And if Shabir Amanullah, if you are able to speak about this, I know you're quite active in the physician stress area after that. So Dr. Arvind Pillai, please.
Okay, thank you. Our immediate past president Usha is there, I hope, and new president Dr. Butt. So President-elect Dr. Nigel, Nisha, his best health, all governing committee members, past presidents, new members of AKMG. Sorry I came late because I had some other meetings, the temple meeting, so I was sorry I could not. I didn't hear a lot of people's speech. So all people who were my seniors, they already delivered their speeches, but I hope they all give you all enlightening ideas I have two things to say. One is regarding the AKMG, and the number two is regarding the convention. So I have, with all my experience with the RP, which has a huge HS fund, which is like millions of dollars. So I know I'm not saying AKMG should have $1 million in the HS fund, but with the enthusiasm we have created in the last 1.5 years, especially Dr. Usha and Butt and Nigel all worked so hard to bring, I think, almost 300, 400 new members. So that created a lot of enthusiasm. And AKMG's reputation has grown to a very high level at this time. So in order to maintain our reputation and our stability as an organization, we should have a charitable fund, a sustainable charitable fund. As Sunil said, we should not be collecting money when a disaster comes. We should have some money. As Thomas said, we should do yearly fundraising. A lot of people will give funds. So we should at least aim to maintain at least $500,000 or $1 million in the charitable fund. That is one thing. Number two thing is, in the convention program, I think almost 5 years ago, I don't know, Dr. Takeda has talked about it. About 5 years ago, we have something happened to the convention program. We used to have a lot of games and sports and a lot of fun things in the day one. So we are not doing it lately. I'm talking about a lot of games like card games, caroms, and sports like tennis and things like that we used to do. So I think a lot of the older generation would love it. I don't know about the new generation, but we would love to have those competitions. It is a lot of fun, different kinds of chess programs or cards, playing cards, things like that, and tennis and even golf. So many things we used to play. So I would appreciate if I'm appealing to you, the new president, please, if you can include them in the convention, it will be great.
Thank you, Dr. Pillai. I think those are very important ideas, and it has always been an issue with time management at conventions, and if people are willing to stay later than usual during those 3 days, and if people are willing to just keep a week of their time out of their busy 1 year before and after, and just spend be ready to spend a few days and few hours and few late nights with colleagues and friends, this is all possible. So come with, I would encourage you all to come with a completely empty slate, ready to indulge in the experiences that both Atlanta and Toronto and the future conventions have to provide. So just keep those 3 days completely off and off limits to everything. Just come and enjoy, indulge, and that is the only way we can really get the best out of the conventions. There is a lot for all of us to share and really experiences, and also
one thing, Nigel, I just want to add to that. When we had the literary program and the women's program, simultaneously we used to have some of the games and sports. So it can be done simultaneously.
Sure. Sure, we can have some parallel activities. Yes, I know, Dr. Paduvana, you have not really spoken about BOT and any of the ideas for the future yet. Dr. Majid Paduvana, would you like to speak?
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so I took over after the last convention, which was a virtual convention 2020, from our Guruji Arvind Pillai, who managed BOT for some time. So thank you, Arvind, for all the years of hard work on that. the trust fund is doing good, and we can. I think we will have more discussion during our general body in Atlanta about it. But the way I look at it is, the previous past presidents, I call them I call that the golden years of AKMG, when we had a lot of surplus from most of the conventions. And if you look at the recent conventions, most of them are not making any surplus really, except Ottawa Convention under Rajiv Menon and Nigel made some surplus. So, and our expenses are going up because we are discounting for the physicians in training, including medical students. So, so the trust fund situation is like that, where our surpluses are not coming in more. So I'm hoping with Atlanta we will start building up again strongly on the trust fund, and then we'll go from there. So if you have any questions on trust fund or board of trustees, I can answer.
Thank you, Dr. Padavana.
Rachel.
Yeah.
KP here. I have a question for Manjeet.
Sure, please go ahead.
What are we doing with the monies in trust fund? What are we doing?
Well, we could do a lot, but I compare this situation with, and this is again, we are going to do in the general body. A lot of the AKMG members have more money in their fund than AKMG itself. And what are they going to do with the money? They are keeping it there for the rainy days, and I think for future purpose. So I'm sure if I have $1 million in my bank, I'll be happy, because if something happens to me or my family, that will come handy for my future generation. But what we're going to do with the money, we can discuss on that. I'm not the expert to say what we should do. I'm sure the leaders can all put heads together and see what we should do. If you have,
we can follow up on that.
Yeah. If we have
follow up on that, this is a different topic that we cannot finalize on this forum.
Correct.
So I will defer that. I will, stop my opinion right here.
It is important. It's an important topic, and we should probably have a meeting just exclusively for that. Okay, before I give it back to Dr. Butt to summarize and close the meeting, anybody who has not spoken so far, anybody wants to speak? I see Dr. Kalapurakya. I see anybody who would like to speak, or forever hold your peace.
This Casey here, Casey Joseph.
Oh, yes. Please, Casey.
That's a long Kalapurakya name there, yeah.
Ah, yes.
Okay. Just one thing, I thought the youngsters, I hope they noticed that a lot of past presidents are here. Just a message that the health of an organization can be measured by how many past presidents are still there. So just a warning that this is like AKMG is like getting into mafia. You can get in, you can never go out. Or it's like Hotel California, you can only check in, you cannot check out. So just a message for them. And another thing is, I think, as you all mentioned, don't forget the new members, especially the young AKMG members or to-be members who are Americans, our children or neighbors' children or other people who have gone to other medical schools like in Caribbean or other foreign countries other than US. So they are the people, they need a lot of help from the mentors and people. They are having quite a bit of problem in the coming back. In my residency program, they are considered third in the tier, American graduates, foreign medical graduates from India and all who come with very high scores. And then the third batch is the Americans who have gone to Caribbean schools or some other place and coming in. I think that's a group we need to help out. Just a thought.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Casey. Okay, if we can now go to Dr. Butt for closing. And before that, my last comment is Teresa and Bindu. Please do follow up on your ideas. Don't let it go by, and we will definitely, have progress in both areas there. Okay, Dr. Bhatt.
Nijil, you didn't speak much. You were asking questions on me. So.
That's fine. I already took a lot of time, answering questions. Please go ahead.
Nigel and Subra, listen to me, please. AKMG is confused as a US-based organization. It's not a US-based organization. Everybody has to recognize that it's North America. That means USA and Canada. Remember that. All leaders and whatnot. It's US and Canada. AKMG represents North America, not USA. And so many leaders spoke only about USA. I disagree with that. A constitution by bylaws is USA and Canada.
Thank you, KP, for pointing out that Canada.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all joining. It's already getting late, almost 2 hours. Thanks for joining all the past presidents and new members. We were expecting more new members, but we have more past presidents, which is good. Thank you all and have a good night, and we will see you all in Atlanta. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.